Lady Janet Sutton.
Girl, I got it now. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Oh my God, this is everybody. It works, okay? It works. I am so thankful, everybody. This is Lady. I call her Lady Janet Sutton, okay? Everybody call her Evangelist. Whatever. I just like the way that sounds, Lady Janet Sutton. I am so appreciative that you took the time to be with us on today, on this evening, through many trials and struggles we've had in the last 5 minutes.
Yes.
But I'm thankful that you joined us. And, you know, like I told them in the previous video, I said, she does so much. Okay, well, I got somebody in my messages saying, is it time for the academy? Yes, it's time. It's 7:30, y'all. But anyway, I was telling that you do so much. And I said, if you notice at the end of her promo, I said ETC, etc. So she can fill in all the blanks of all of the other things that she does. So welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to have you here. Now, let's just go on and get into this, because I know you're busy and I'm busy and everybody's in anticipation. So I gave them like a little highlight of what you do.
Yes.
And who you are.
Yes.
So shed some light on this, because I like for everybody to kind of get a feel of who I'm talking to or who they're talking to. So you can kind of know where you're coming from.
Well, I hope most people, I think most people know that I'm Janet Sutton. Used to be Janet Harris. My father was the pastor of the True Holiness Church of God in Christ, which is where I got my beginning at. I was over the choir. He made me direct the choir at the age of 8. When I didn't want to direct the choir, but at 8, you don't have a choice. You do what your daddy say do. And not knowing that being obedient to my parents was going to bless my life. And so that's where it all began. And then people might know, then later on, I was on the radio. I've been on the radio for over 40 years, playing gospel music. And my father has always been a very inspirational part of my life, as well as my mother. Everything that I'm doing now, my mother has done before. My mother used to be over the St. James Church of God in Christ choir. She used to MC and do all the things that I'm doing. So then that's where it all began at. And then most people know that I married Arthur Sutton. After marrying Arthur Sutton, then my dad passed, and I went to Acme Church, which is where I am now. That's the choir that went to House with the Sound, the Voices of Acme. And so that's where it all began. And I'm just glad to be a servant. I am a church choir directress. Well, I can direct anybody choir. Don't let me just say that. But
yes, you can.
But yes, I love the church choir. I'm really a part, and I really try to push and encourage the church choir. So that's a little bit about me.
Yes, and actually that's a lot. And a lot of people have gotten their start in the churches, and it's a blessing that your family had that kind of input in your life and that you stayed with them. And work with them.
Yes.
Okay, now let's shift over to the choral performance, because that's where everybody wants to know. I can't tell you how many. I had to turn my phone off because when they saw your promo, they kept asking me, "Is she coming? Is she?" I'm like, "Yeah, she's coming. She's coming." You know, they have questions and whatever else. So let's start with the first one. How should a choir director prepare themselves? Now, you took a national title, which I'm very, very proud of, to be in that club with you.
Yes.
How should a choir director prepare themselves, and well as the choir, for a performance? You know, because we know there's a mental side, a spiritual side, a physical side, all these different sides. So how should a director prepare themselves first, and then the choir?
Well, first of all, the Lord has to give you the vision. As the leader of the choir, you have to seek God for the vision for the choir. And when I got ready to do House with the Sound, I really prayed about it. And, you know, I have judged many choir competitions in my lifetime. And so I knew that one thing you definitely need to do, and that is show the ability of the choir. In getting in a choir competition, it's about the choir. So I had to really seek God as far as what I wanted to sing, what would be good for my choir to sing, because everything you hear on the radio is not for your choir. And some things you hear on the radio is not for Sunday morning service. You know, some things you can sing at a musical, but it's not appropriate for a Sunday morning worship service. So as the leader of the choir, you must seek God to find out what you should sing, when you should sing it, and things of that nature. Of course, when I got ready to do How Sweet the Sound, I didn't allow my choir to sing it in the church until the day before we went to competition. Reason being, God had dropped "'Tis So Sweet" in my spirit. And after dropping that in my spirit, I had to birth it. It was birthed in my spirit, and then I had to get it out of my spirit in order to give it to the musicians as well as the choir. So I would say, whenever you're getting ready for anything that your choir is about to do, you as the leader, you must have the vision, and you must be a strong leader. So when you stand up before the people, you stand up with that blessed assurance, knowing that what you're doing is the right thing to do.
True.
Gotta have blessed assurance though, because if sometimes when people see weakness, I hate to call it that, but it is what it is.
That's
You know, you got to know all three parts. You got to know everything, because you don't want nobody, telling you that that's the wrong part or whatever. So you gotta. I think the Bible says, "Study to show yourself approved."
Show yourself. Yes.
So you can be on top of your game and know that you're prepared for what you're about to do. So I did that. God birthed it in my spirit. I couldn't sleep. I mean, that thing was about to burst inside of me. And "'Tis So Sweet." Now I could have sang "Pass Me Not." Could have sang something that was familiar that I know could get the crowd up, which is what a lot of choirs did. But I chose to do a hymn. And once God birthed it in my spirit, and I was able to teach it to the choir, and my musicians helped me as well to develop it, as I was going along, because I could hear it. But because I don't play, you know what I'm saying, I had to rely on them to play what I was hearing. But trust, when it was wrong, I said, that ain't what I'm hearing.
That's not it. Yes, ma'am.
So we have to be prepared, have to know our purpose, have to know what we're doing, so we can prepare ourselves for whatever we're about to do. So I was getting ready for the How Sweet the Sound, taught everybody the parts, developed it as it went on, and God just blessed us with a hymn. And the hymn showed the power and the ability of the choir. It wasn't a musician competition, so I didn't need them to outplay me. I needed them to compliment the choir, because it was a choir competition.
Right. And I think that's what a lot of people forget. It's really about the choir. It's not about the director, even though the choir is only as good as the director.
Well, yeah.
But it's really about the choir.
I would so often say a good choir has a good directress or director, and a good director has a good choir. Like you say, they complement each other. And when you show that the choir follows the director, knows the director, just like my choir, they knew me. You know what I'm saying? So had I fell on the floor, they was gonna fall with me, because that's what I told them. Whatever I do, that's what you do. I don't need your opinion. I just need you to trust me. That's what I kept telling the Voices of Acme. I need you to trust me.
Exactly. And that's key. And the thing is that people can tell when there's a symbiotic relationship between you and the choir.
Sure.
They can tell, because when they know you, because sometimes I watch you direct, and I went to your concert that you just had in December, I believe it was.
Scholarship Foundation.
Exactly. And you were directing, and then you just started moving your head from side to side, and they knew exactly what to do. I mean, whatever you were doing, they knew exactly. And I said, that's a blessing.
Right.
That's a real blessing.
Well,
now, how did you work with the choir? Did you have to coach them kind of, in a way? Or did you just,
the more that I'm with them, the more they get to know me. And the more I'm with them, the more I get to know them. And that's what rehearsal is all about. Rehearsal is getting ready for whatever you're about to do, even if it's Sunday morning. And I've worked with the Voices of Acme so long until they know me. You know what I'm saying? And they know my signs, know when I'm a cutoff. My musicians know not to take their eyes off of me.
Right.
You might miss something. You take my husband to tell you that, man, you got to watch it. You got to watch it. You don't know what Jenny might do. You got to watch it. But, in working together, developing relationship, we have learned each other. And so it has to begin there. As a leader, you have to have a relationship with your choir. You have to have a good working relationship, and you got to know your personnel. You know, I know
Yes, you
who
do.
I'm working with. I know the altos, the sopranos, the tenors. I know who I'm working with.
Yes, that's true. Now, for when you were preparing them, were there specific vocal techniques you used,
Oh,
or
sure,
you
sure, sure.
just
We did some vocal. I brought some people in to do some vocal
okay?
exercises with them because I've never confessed to know it all. And matter of fact, every year I used to bring someone in, like a Larry Jones and different ones in
Hmm.
to work with my choir. You know, even though they might say the same things that I say, I just sometimes you need to
Right.
hear from someone else.
Someone
So
else.
I would try to bring someone in to inspire the choir, uplift the choir, you know. And so I
Hmm.
brought some vocal people in, worked on our vocal, our tonation, and things of that nature. So
Hmm.
yeah, that was all a part in us preparing.
Exactly. Now, how I've talked to some directors, and one of them sent that question to me, and they were saying, "How do you motivate your choir to want to participate outside the four walls?" Some people they're trying to get the ministry outside, even in just like a neighborhood, uh,
Well, we've done
whatever.
right. We've done neighbor. Matter of fact, we went and sang on 79th and Ashland.
Oh,
The superintendent of the police department asked me, would my choir come outside? But see, I have taught my choir that it's not just about what we do in church. We will have to go
oh,
outside the church. We've sang at many outdoor festivals and things of that nature.
hmm,
And when we sing at the outdoor festival, I tell my choir, you have to live so that you can pray for the people. You know, you can't be
hmm,
afraid to go outside, can't be afraid to minister. We can't act like we're scared, but we know that God
right.
is with us. And I welcome things of that nature. I want to go outside to the different festivals. I want to go. We sang on 79th Street. The bus was coming. They was getting right there at the gas station where I think a week or two later, somebody got shot and killed at that very gas
Oh
station.
my Lord!
But you got to be able to do that. But it
But you got
starts
to
at
do that.
home. You know, we
Hmm.
teach them at home. This you all. This is part of our ministry. We got to be able to go out and compel them to come. You can't be afraid to take the ministry of singing out to others.
Hmm.
Didn't have no drums, just had a keyboard player. But the spirit that you do what you do in. The spirit, even
Yes.
going to the United Center, I said to Acme, the Voices, I said, we're going to change this atmosphere to the atmosphere that we're used to. And that is an atmosphere
Yes.
of praise. Praise is just not
Yes.
in the church. You can praise
No, it's
wherever you
not.
go. And when we get together and praise comes in and we start doing what we do to lift up Jesus and praise comes in, you shift the atmosphere wherever you are. Oh,
Yes.
yes, God.
Yes, you do.
Hallelujah. Oh,
Go
yeah.
ahead. Go ahead, Evangelist.
Yes,
Go
Lord.
ahead.
That thing is real. See, we getting caught up. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to do a choir workshop in May. And the title of my
Okay.
workshop is What Happens When Choir Members Pray? What?
Ooh,
You got to
please let
pray.
me know.
You can't just
Yes.
sing. Because if you just sing and you don't have foundation and purpose behind what you're doing, you're going to fall. You're not going to be like that tree that's planted by the rivers of water. Anybody
Go
talk
ahead
about you,
now.
you won't come. If somebody say, I don't like the way you sing it, you're singing it wrong. If they say something wrong to you, you won't stay, you won't remain. But that
That's
foundation, the
it.
word of God and the spirit of God has to live in you to give you the power to press forward and get over these
Forward.
other little things. Leaving the church, why? Now's not a time to leave the church. You better run to Jesus and sing until lives are changed. Sing until the atmosphere is shifted. The
Go
choir has
ahead now.
purpose. They got
Yes.
purpose.
Yes, we do. Yes,
Got
we do.
purpose.
And I think, and it's not just to be seen, not just to be have your name and lights and everybody can say who you are and whatever. It's really about the ministry.
It's about the
And
ministry. You know what? I
yes, it
sang,
is.
matter of fact, I sang a medley not long ago. And I went from Lord, you are good. You've been so good until you deserve it. What?
Right.
Man, we couldn't hardly keep singing because we got caught up in the praise. You are
Right.
good. That goes for us first. You got to be able to
Yes,
minister
it
to
does.
yourself. What goes from the heart reaches the heart. So I say to
Reaches
my
the
choir
heart.
sometimes, that's why I got to be led on Sunday mornings. What is going to bless us as well as bless the house? We're not just going through the
Exactly.
motions. No, it's more to it than that. We're living in the last and evil days. Every time we come together, I'm still trying to process Marlo Cribbs. What? He was just at the
That's what.
radio
Yes.
station, just at the radio
Yes,
station two
Lord.
weeks ago with us. Do you
Oh
not
my
know
goodness.
we never dreamed it was his last time we would see him alive? No.
Exactly.
Playing time is
That's
over.
what I just told him before this. I said we didn't know that this was going to be his last day. We don't know when our last day is.
But what do you want people to remember about you? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Do they want to remember that you was a dancer, you was a praiser, or you were a hellraiser? What do you want them to remember? She told people off. What do you want people to say about you? Because you're living your service. You're living your funeral. What do you want them to say about you? She was a wonderful soprano. She was a wonderful alto, a faithful tenor. What do you want them to say about your ministry?
Oh, Lady Janet, you teaching. Go ahead now. Keep on going.
You know, that thing is in my heart. It's in my heart.
And it has to be. In order for you to lead, you lead from your heart, not from your mind.
That's right.
And I think a lot of people are doing that. They lead from their mind because they just, I always say that people only see the after.
Sure.
They don't see the before and the process that you have to go through in order to get to this point. And I think that's what people are doing. They're just trying to go from A to Z without going through the entire alphabet.
That's true.
And you cannot have the substance. You cannot have the depth. You cannot have the spiritual level that you need in order to lead people. You know, and that is just something that is just, I don't understand how I think we let the world's concept of how we should be come into the church and twist our minds in a way, and that's what we're trying to live up to.
Right.
What they're saying, instead of leading on the way that God wants us to
But some of us are not going to change, because what it took back then, it's going to take that and more. With all that we see is going on, and I still have rules, I have regulations, but my choir members know I love them. If they need anything, all they got to do is pick up that phone. Sister Janet would be there. If they're in a hospital, whatever, I go to that hospital. If they need prayer, they call me. I pray for them, because I'm living this thing. It's not just a Sunday morning, not just trying to do things to be seen, but I'm living, I'm praying that I live the life that God gets the glory. So when I say you have to have a relationship with your choir, for Christmas, we had a Christmas party. They came and ate for free. We got to start appreciating our people. That's one reason we lose them, because we don't appreciate them. But I try to do things for them. I've had a dinner for them. One year I gave them all a movie pass. Just different things to let them know I appreciate the sacrifice that you make. Because coming to rehearsal, singing every Sunday is a sacrifice. But you got to know that I, as your leader, appreciate the sacrifice that you're making, and then we do it as unto God. So we got to work together and bringing all that together. Let your choir members know you appreciate them. I appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am.
You know?
Yes, exactly. Hug them and whatever. I mean, to let them know, because sometimes, you know, and I was telling another director, I said, you know, it's not so much in what you say all the time, it's in what you do.
Yeah.
And it's just people, when they find out that you appreciate them and that you love them, and that you're concerned about them, you get more out of them. They will go the distance to try to help you, to be at rehearsal, whatever you need. I'm right there. Just like you there for them, they'll be there for you.
And I must say that about the Voices of Acme, they are there. Whatever I ask them to do, they are faithful to the call, and I so appreciate that. You know, any Sunday morning when they come in and don't see the choir, the first thing the people say, where's the choir? Where's the choir? But, you know, sometimes even the church has to learn how to appreciate the choir. You know, don't just sit there and watch us like we performing. You know what I'm saying? But you want to be appreciated. So a lot of times I say, if I got to go to the mic and say, stand up, y'all. However, I got to get them up sometimes. Because just like you go to a concert, and people standing up, when we come to church, or if we're doing a good job, or just us getting together, all worshiping together, it's okay to appreciate us. Stand up, clap, say, go ahead, say something.
Exactly, because, you know, you're sitting there looking at them, and I mean, as a director, your back might be to them, but you're looking at the faces of the choir, and they're kind of like, why are we doing this? You know, even though we know it's for ministry, but it is good to see encouragement out there. It's good to see somebody smile, wave, you know, have some kind of reaction, because it takes work to each of us have to prepare. The leader prepares, the choir members have to prepare themselves to come into the house of worship. And you don't want to leave like you came.
Amen.
You want to leave better.
Amen.
You want to leave better.
Amen.
Now, In your long, vast career as being a choir directress, what are some of the skills or lessons that you learned that you can pass on to the one coming behind? Because there's a lot of them coming behind, and they're trying to get it the fast McDonald's way. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah.
But what are some of the skills that you learn and things that you encountered in your music career that you can pass on to them?
Well, first of all, I have some wonderful mentors. Dr. Lavonia Whitley is one of my mentors. She has showed me how to be elegant, how to stand before the choir, and how to be anointed, and how to be sure of what you're doing. So one thing I would say is a choir leader has to prepare themselves. You never want to go to rehearsal and you're unprepared. You have to have a working relationship with your choir members. Don't talk about them. Be careful in rehearsal that you don't start laughing and playing with them, because my mama said, you play with a puppy, he'll lick you in the mouth, which means sometimes if you play too much, then when you're not playing, they'll still be playing. So you gotta be careful with that. You got to carry yourself. I never have had to say, respect me. All I do is carry myself in a way to be respected.
In that way.
And so many choir leaders forget to do that. You just walk upright and carry yourself in a way to be respected. The people will respect you. They don't need to know your business. I don't have to go out and party with them. I don't do that.
No, ma'am.
I stay in a leadership position. If we go out bowling or go out whatever, we can still have fun, but I still stay in a leadership position. They know I love them. They know I can do anything for them, but you got to learn how to know who you are and to know what's expected of you, and make sure when you go to rehearsal, make sure you get what you went to rehearsal for. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying don't let the choir members come and you don't rehearse. Listen, I don't have a full choir stand every time we meet. I don't have a full, but if I got 3 sopranos, 2 altos, and 1 tenor, we're going to rehearse.
Yes,
got to keep it moving. And once that message goes out, we still rehearsed. I might not teach a new song that day, but I might do something different so they'll know, I better come to rehearsal because Sister Janet might sing something new. I got to stay with what's going on. So don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to try different songs, new songs. It's okay, as long as you're prepared and your musical staff is prepared as well. It's okay to try different things, but make sure that your heart is clean. Make sure that you do what you do as unto God. Give me a clean heart and renew the right spirit. You can't be the leader and you don't have the right spirit. Come on, Jesus.
Yes, Lord.
As a leader, you got to have the right spirit. And that spirit ain't going to chop them up and eat them up and get into arguments. One thing I would never do, and that's get into an argument in front of my choir. I don't care what happens. I'll say, you know what? Let's talk about this when this is over with. Let me meet with you as soon as it's over with. But my choir members don't deserve to come and see an argument, a fight, and discord. I'm fighting the musicians. And my choir members don't come for that. And it's also my job as the leader to protect my choir members. You got to protect them, and make sure that they're in the right atmosphere and things go well for them. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to leave rehearsal depressed, because don't come if I'm going to make you depressed. But when they leave choir rehearsal, they should feel like we worked good tonight. Sister Janet worked us out tonight.
Yes, we did.
We had a good rehearsal tonight,
Right.
Yeah.
The Spirit of the Lord came in. Amen.
Some of the things that I've learned, through the years, have made some mistakes before. I was young, and I hate to hear some of the musicians say, Sister Janet, you kicked me off the drums. I'd be like, what? Don't tell nobody. But all that was a part of them learning, me learning, them learning, and a lot of the musicians that say that have gone on to be excellent musicians. I mean, worldwide musicians, but all of us have to have a training period, and don't be afraid for people to give you suggestions, because you don't know it all.
True, say that. Yes.
At the beginning of the year, I went through my choir and asked everyone, what would you like to see changed in the choir? What do you think we can do to make our choir stronger for 2019? Don't be afraid if somebody says something, well, Sister Janet, I wish you would do, whatever. I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to think about that. or I'm gonna see how we can work that in. You know, long as you stay in control and it don't get out of hand. Don't do it, but don't be afraid of criticism, because that's all a part of it. You know, and if everybody don't agree with you, it's okay. Find a way to disagree, but you know, you can be disagreeable without falling out. Got to find a way to get along. You got to get along, you know, as a choir. Can't have a powerful music ministry and everybody up there don't like each other.
Say that.
That don't work.
That don't work. There will be no anointing.
That don't work.
No yoke spoken.
I hate when people say the devil is always in the choir. I said the devil ain't in the choir. The devil is in the people. He ain't in the choir. He might be in the choir members, but he ain't in the choir.
In the people.
You know, so we got to all search ourselves, you know, and I say sometimes, even to my choir directors, if you're having a bad day that day and you say, Janet, I'm not feeling it today, I say, okay, not a problem. I'll go ahead and do what has to be done, because I don't want you to be over the people spewing out negativity. You know, if you are supposed to direct or sing or you're not feeling it, be honest with yourself, be honest with your leader and say, you know what, today is not my day. And me as a leader have to know, okay, I got to go on. Let me do something else, because we don't want no negativity in the front. You know what I'm saying? And everybody goes through. Everybody. I go through.
Yes.
But it's not for me to go in front of the choir and show everybody, oh, they was a Janet in a bad mood today. They don't deserve that.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
So we as the leader, we got to watch what we do, watch what we say, and just know that we're doing what we can is unto God and to bless the people, because that's what we do as leaders. Yeah. We got to bless the people.
Yes, we do. That's what God calls us to do.
Amen.
Let me get some shout outs, because everybody's saying, hey, Janet. We got Sherry Pink, Lisa Ivy, Calvin Blissick, Stefan Cortez Stone, and Nat Harris. CJ, Carl Bell, Deatrice, Clifford Davis, Brandy McCord, Apostle Dion Hunt, Perkett Jr.
Oh, yes.
It's so many people on here. Teresa Sanders.
Oh, yeah, she's in Mexico.
Right. She's tuned in. It's so many names on here. And I appreciate everybody tuning in.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed you, Lady Sutton. You gave us some really good information. And if they would just take heed, you know, and include myself, because you did some reminders, and I'm like, okay, Jesus, I got it. I need to like boost that side up a little bit. But you know what, like you say, if you want to do better, when people give you suggestions or things, you won't take it to heart like they, you know, they're criticizing me. It's constructive criticism in a sense. It's just to help you get better.
Sure it is.
You know, and I think the mindset has to be in the right place. That if you want to grow and develop, when you receive information, you won't take it the wrong way. You take it like that. I remember an older preacher was talking about this donkey that fell in a hole and people were throwing dirt on him. And he was packing it down on his feet, and eventually he
rose to the top. That's right.
He rose to the top. So that's how I look at it. You know, sometimes it pinches a little bit, and sometimes it doesn't. But I'm packing it down, and it's only making me and everybody else that applies it go higher.
Sure.
You know, that's all it does. But I really appreciate you taking the time out tonight. You all, because I told Lady Janet, I said, I'm always calling you when you're in the middle of something. But I thank you for all of the wisdom and the knowledge that you share with us on tonight. And I'm sure everybody else is appreciative of it too. And I want you all out there to like and share this video so that other people can get it. And we thank you. I appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. Thank you for considering me and allowing me to be a part of this ministry that God has birthed in your spirit. I so appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. And I thank you for stepping, because I just want to be a vessel to help everybody do better. You know, some people just want the whole domain to themselves. You can't grow like that. God can't use you when you want to hoard everything to yourself. We have to have a sharing and a giving spirit to help other people progress along the way. You know, because I feel like this. If you know who you are and God has blessed you and you're not intimidated, it doesn't matter what anybody does. Nobody can do it like you.
That's right.
Nobody can share the gospel like you. Nobody can direct like you. Nobody can sing like you. He made you unique because you have a specific purpose.
Right.
Amen.
We appreciate every opportunity.
I thank everybody for Yes, ma'am. I thank everybody for joining us. And as I always tell you all, be kind, be sweet, say a prayer for everybody. I love everybody. Thank you so much, very much for what you did. And as I always sign off, I say peace. Thank you, Lady Janet, and God bless you in your ministry.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.